Welcome to Think About It Using Common Sense. Again, more gun violence on top of gun violence. Um, I know we're all marching and we're talking about how serious it is and something needs to be done. But people, this is the product or the end results of what has not been done or what is not being done. And it's time for us to address this and put the blame where it belongs. How many more people, children, are going to have to die before we really realize that we need to take action and there's action that needs to be taken to stop this? Um, for the life of me, I have no idea. I don't understand why there's such, or should I say, so much controversy about background checks. Why is there so much controversy about uh, children, teenagers being of age to purchase automatic military weapons that's designed and built for killing? I don't understand this. There's no, I hear no one talking about taking arms away from anybody. But yet I do hear people are saying, well, these kids that are doing this killing, they need to, they're mentally ill, they have mental problems. Well, that's all the more reason that you should have a background check. So the problem that I'm seeing using some common sense, which seems to be missing, is the people who are in charge are not doing what they're supposed to do. Money is being put over, as it always is, over human life. And until we start doing something and realizing that, I mean, let's take South Street in Philadelphia. What happened? I was downtown uh, around South Street at the time this happened. I didn't see any shootings in it, but I seen the results, the stampede of people, and I heard the gunshots. I have never in my life seen anything like it. And some of these kids, and I call them kids because some of them seem to be 15, 16 years old. And this at the time I was uh, down South Street. It was around 11:30, 12. And some of these kids look like to me, they should have been home. And it was a hangout. And I mean, I just, I don't even know what to say, you know. Uh, Children that they seem to not even have a clue as to what's really happening or what really could happen until you get shot or you get beat up or you get trampled or locked up. This is not a joke. And the world is watching this. And these are not, uh, doesn't appear to be, doesn't appear to be college grads that's out here doing this stuff. Not saying that they don't do it. Maybe it's in a different part of town and maybe it's not getting as much exposure because I mean, kids are kids regardless. But we have got to do better. And they even had the video of people that was licensed to carry it. They showed it on television how they was shooting one another. Something's wrong with this. We need to do something. The people that are in charge that should be doing something, they're not. So I'm thinking maybe a two-term limit on politicians, and it's up to the voters to do this. A two-term limit on politicians would eliminate a lot of the uh, dedication, a loyalty that politicians have to these special interest groups. Put a limit on, and it's up to the people to do that. And if the people doesn't do it, then that means the people are in agreement with what's being done and what's not being done. Because these politicians answer to the voters. And that's the reality of using common sense. And a lot of this stuff, a lot of these what these children are acting out is acting out of neglect. Because if they're not being taught right, this is how they act. So where does the blame really, really belong? And I'm tired of hearing everybody stand up apologizing for this. We need to do this. We need to do that. This just didn't start yesterday. This just didn't start last year. Everybody coming out the woodwork now. Oh, we need to do what? What? Politicians are showing you where their loyalty belongs, as well as the people that continue to support them, knowing that they're supporting what's happening or they're not doing what they need to do in order to uh, put a stop or slow down or do something to curb what's happening. All this violence is happening because it's not going to stop. It's not. I don't care what you're doing at this point. This is something that's basically it's going to have to run its course and start doing a better job educating our children, teaching them, uh, people being more responsible as far as keeping these guns out of the hands of people that do not deserve or cannot qualify to own a gun. These kids. No kid should be able to walk into a gun shop and buy an automatic rifle, military grade, thousands of rounds of ammo, multiple gun clips, 18 years old, possibly mentally deranged. Should not be allowed to happen. You know, I don't understand it. So, and background check, age limit. Come on. And this is what politicians or debating about. This is what people are satisfied with an explanation coming from these politicians why they're not doing something as simple as that. And nobody said nothing about taking guns away from anybody. If you're adult, you have guns, make sure they're secure where your children can't get them. What's the problem? What is this major, major problem? I don't see it. But we see the results every day of what's happening when we're not doing what we're supposed to do. And a term limit should definitely be in in the books for these politicians. They're not doing the job, not at all. Um, January 6th, insurrection trials. From what I'm understanding, um, it's supposed to be broadcast on live TV next week. And what I'm hearing on other TV stations, radio stations, uh, is saying that it's something like a show, shouldn't be. But this is an insurrection on our government and possibility that uh, government officials, politicians was involved. So what's the big deal? It's another thing. If you're innocent, what's the deal? What's the big deal with not supporting an investigation to find out who was behind this? Well, what's the problem at? People have got to wake up and start using some common sense. Either you want to get to the bottom of the truth or you don't. If you don't want to get to the bottom of the truth, then guess what? Stop complaining about it. Settle whatever happens. Just stop it. And then not only that, but you have one station saying, uh, telling you that black is green. Another station saying, well, black is black. But if you've never been introduced to color, if you don't know anything about colors, you don't know which is which. And this is what the truth is like. People don't even know anything about the truth. You know nothing about government, you know nothing how laws is made, you know nothing about the Constitution, you know nothing about the ins and outs of law, what rights you have. So if you don't know anything about your rights, you don't have any. Think about that for a second. I saw Sky on television, and he was on his porch, and these two police officers came. I'm not sure what the paper was. I'm not sure what it was a warrant or whatever it was, but they was attempting to go into this man's house, and the man said, "No, you can't go into my house. You have to have a warrant or something." And the officers was kind of pushing him back a little bit and saying we was going in. But the point that I'm getting at, they didn't go. But the point that they didn't go in the man's house. But the point that I'm making is, the young man knew the law. That's the reason that the officers didn't go in that man's house. He knew the law. Because one of the officers told the other guy that was holding him back, he said, "Yeah, well, he's right. Let's go. You can't go in. Let's go." So these things are not taught. Law is something I've always thought should be taught in schools because this is what we are governed by. That I think that in one sense would eliminate a lot of crime. So if these politicians can just change their ways on a law that they have been living under, or rules of laws governed by a constitution, a bill of rights. They all have been elected into office by the same process, same means of election, people voting. But all of a sudden, because one person lose and yell foul, and that's wrong. We got to do this. We got to do this again. And then they're going, and insurrection has been executed in our capital. So, and as these politicians are objecting to an investigation of the insurrection to find out who was at the base of it, what was that really caused, and who was it, and those that caused this insurrection should be held accountable. And these politicians are against it. How is that? How is that? Let the truth be known. If you're innocent, let the truth be known. I don't. It has nothing to do with Democrats or Republicans. It had with getting at the truth. But that seems to be a problem. Seems to be a problem with that. I don't understand that either. I think the people have got to wake up and decide what type of democracy do you want to live in? Because the leaders supposedly are put in office uh, by being elected, and they take an oath to uphold the Constitution and serve the American people. This is what it is. This is not what we're getting, and this is not. And if you accept this, then this is what you're going to get. I hear these people talk about, oh, inflation, how bad inflation is. These rich people don't know anything about inflation. Hey, this guy, this TV radio commentator, multi-millionaire, might be a billionaire for all I know. I don't know what his wealth is. And he's talking about gas prices, $5, how bad it is with gas prices, $5, and how price of uh, food, price of food is going up. Sure, all these things is going up, but he don't know anything about it. It's a multi-millionaire. Just like these people trying to tell me what it feels like to be in a war zone, and you don't spent your whole life on a beach somewhere. You can't identify with that. It's time for the BS to stop, but it's also time for people to get some common sense. And things are getting tight, and people are making money. And from what I'm seeing, I'm just using common sense and looking at things realistically. This economy has been bad for a very long time. It was bad before the stimulus money. I think the stimulus money saved the economy. And even as the economy was bad, we was giving the stimulus money out. Wall Street never stopped making money. The Wall Street investors never stopped making money. I just saw today, Wall Street still making money. Wall Street stocks, everything's up. Gas, I paid $5.50 a gallon today for gasoline. Food prices is off the chart. Quite and quite naturally, I mean, diesel 7, 8, $10, depending on where you drive. And these trucks is bringing food into the market. For sure, the price goes up for the consumer. Well, what happened to all that stimulus money? Where did it go? Went right back to the people. It's right back to the rich. And that's why right now things are bad, and they're going to be bad because the money's gone. The money is gone, and prices is going up, increasing. So people, times are going to get very bad. And now I heard that the water is going to increase in cost, and they're going to start cutting the water off if you don't pay your bill. Electric is going to increase in cost. You're going to cut your electric off if you don't pay your bill. And grant there is help, but people, you're not going to be able to pay your bills, buy your food if you're not working. And if things are beginning to slow down and you're not buying because you don't have the money, so that means people are not able to sell. So they're not going to be able to hire as many people. So it's just going to compound on top of this, on top of that, and things are going to get really, really bad. Rent, finding a place to live, reasons going to be very, very hard to do. And if you do find it's going to be expensive. If you don't have a very good credit rating and working, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. So, on one sense, when you look at and start talking about the gun violence, and you see how people are killing and people that look like to me they have gun permits, and maybe they shouldn't have gun permits, or maybe they should have ran them through the check or something. Because when you have a gun permit, you just don't. Every time there's a little an argument or something, you just don't draw your gun. Guns are, or when you draw your gun, your mind should be made up you're going to use it. You don't draw a gun to talk. You draw a gun to shoot. You know, I'm a gun owner, and I used to have a license to carry, but very, very seldom I carried my gun. Maybe if I was out late at night or something, late. But and I didn't feel comfortable in carrying it because sometimes it can draw stuff. It can draw stuff to you subconsciously. Sometime maybe in a situation where you would just normally walk away and don't even think twice about it. Having a gun on your hip might change your mind. Might say, well, you know what? Instead of me walking away, why don't I just walk on down and see what happens? So it can bring stuff to you sometimes. That's all I'm saying. So we really need to think about this thing because it looks like to me in some states it's okay to even outright just carry a gun. You don't even have to have a permit. You just carry it, like in the old West, in the Western days. I feel like it's coming to that. You just have a holster, have your gun strapped to your side, and good to go. Practically the way it is now. It's the way it's coming. But we have got to do something, and I think it needs to start with putting a term limit on these politicians. Really, they're not getting these bills passed, getting them through. And guess what? Put somebody in there who will. So, and as for inflation is concerned, people have to start tightening the belt. And I heard also that there are stores, uh, major department stores and regular stores like Target and places like that. They're seeing how people are coming in now buying uh, based on needs as opposed to what they want. They're seeing a shift in the consumers buying, which is understandable because when things get tight like this, that's what happens. So that's going to shake the world, believe it or not, shakes the world because what made America, what made America number one, we were the major consumers in the world. See? And it's getting to when the big chiefs start having problems, it creates problems for everybody. And this is really, really serious. And it doesn't, sometimes I haven't seen anything go down yet that goes up. Nothing. I don't even see how it's going to go down when you really start thinking about it. So you need to start doing positive things now and cut out the negativity. Start teaching these kids how to learn the value of education, the value of working together, the family working together, living together. Because it's about surviving now. And all this crazy stuff, just spending, throwing your money away, you're foolish. Foolish. I look at the neighborhoods, they got all these stores and different types of shops and this and that, catering directly to people that have no idea the value of money and the purpose of it. Can't have anything. If you're always out here spending like it's no tomorrow, you'll never have anything. And if you're spending like there's no tomorrow, then guess what? There will be no tomorrow for you. And I want to leave you with that. This is real. You got to cut this mess out. You know, you can't keep just telling people doing this, doing this. We got to take some responsibility. And you got to reel these kids in, man, if you love them. Because I'm telling you, I feel sad for all of them. Seeing all these kids out there like that, it's saddening because they have no future, none whatsoever. So we have to drive that home to them. Um, and also Ukraine. We're all on. Excuse me. You know, I hear everybody's always talking about Joe Biden. You know, no president gets into office, and time he get into office, things start changing. Some of the things that uh, prior president put into act, or some of the things, the bills that he signed, they're just coming to fruition now, or just did last year or something, or the effects of it is just beginning to show up now. And it's time for people to, in a time like this, We need to get behind. We need to get behind the president. Get behind the man who was elected. He won. So the majority of the American people put Joe Biden into office. So we need to rally behind, not saying that everything this man does is okay, but we need to rally behind this man. The Republicans don't need to go off and start crying and pouting and saying, well, we're not going to do this. Get in there and work. Make this bipartisan and do something. But yet you want to complain, complain, but you're doing nothing. If it wasn't for Joe Biden, we wouldn't have no infrastructure bill. If it wasn't for Joe Biden, we wouldn't have had probably the positive effect on the virus that we had. We have Joe Biden. He's really trying to ease the debt, some of these college debt off these students. He's trying to do that. People say, "Well, that's a bad thing." He's trying to help seniors. He's trying to help the veterans. Is that a bad thing? I'm sure, and not only that, you got to think about something here. Joe Biden been into politics. Now I don't even know that much about Joe Biden. I'm only going by what I'm seeing now and listening to. The man is 80. I think he's 80 something years old. And from what I'm seeing, Joe Biden saved America. Joe Biden saved our democracy, whether people want to accept that or not. Because and I'm only based on what I'm seeing, what I heard. I've never seen the president has had his whole half of his administration indicted, been locked up. President been impeached twice. Not only that, has been indicted, accused of stuff. I never seen that. And even when he was making it in a speech about the coronavirus, talking about putting light inside of people, drinking bleach or something. I don't know, something like that. I don't understand that. When all this stuff, nobody even mentioned, not that you have to constantly mention it 24/7, but you know what was said. You have got to have some common sense about this thing. But it's not based on that. This is something that's based on trying to look like to me, trying to start a civil war or something, hate, racial war or something. It's all about the wrong thing because it's not about people of color taking over anything. People of color's not going to take over anything in this country. You're kidding yourselves. People that own it, they own it. They're going to always own it. And their family's going to own it. And that's just how it is. What people need to be doing is working together, carving out a life for themselves and trying to make this planet and their life and the life of their loved ones as peaceful as possible. Educate their children. Make sure we have a superior educational system where I don't understand either why it's if the teachers, not the building, it's the teachers that educate our kids, why they have to go to a private school. Why can't a public school have the same quality of teachers? And if the teachers elect the right people in council, have the necessary things in that public school to teach their children the same as they get taught in a private school? Why is that? Why can't that be? Why can't that be? It's not the building's fault, it's the teacher's fault. Our children, our children, these children that you see running up and down the street and creating this and doing this, they have been let down. They have been let down by the system. They have been let down by the parents because all kids don't do that. You understand? They don't do that. They're not tested. They're not taught properly. They're not disciplined properly. It's almost as if the children are running the parents and telling the parents what to do. This is the product of that, and we need to own it. We need to own it. I think we're too busy. We have forgotten. We have forgotten. We're forgetting about our future. This is our future. This is our future that's out there doing that, doing this. They only know what they've been taught. They only know what's been put before them. That's all. That's all they know. Where else they going to get it from? It's just going to come out the sky and hit them in the head? No. We're responsible. We, the people, we are responsible. And once we realize the value of life and the value of this system, and yes, the system is flawed, but we're here, we can change. We can change things. And I'm talking about uh, change things economically. Uh, we can intertwine with the system. We can educate our children better. We can be responsible for our children. You should know what your children are doing. This social media and all this other stuff is destroying. It's destroying our generation. Doesn't affect, it only affects us, it doesn't affect the rich. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't affect the people that's in control. It doesn't affect them. It only affect the ones that's trying to get something. You understand? That's why. And until you learn, and you don't have a lot of time to learn, you don't have a lot of time because the way things are changing, based on the inflation, the job shortage, and the jobs that are being made today, going to require additional education, additional training. It's going to require people in mathematics, physics, uh, in medicine, nanotechnology, space exploration, climate control. I mean, it's It's a whole new world. It's a whole new world that's opening up. Electric cars. I was thinking the other day, I said, you know what? Why is I'm saying is the price of gas getting so high now? Is that what it's taking to push people into buying electric cars? Could be. I don't know. Just thinking. You have a brain. You have to think. Think sometime. Ain't nothing just happened for no reason. You know, if gas was cheap, your gas car is getting a whole lot of miles to a gallon, then why would you want to buy an electric car? You know, and then it's a lot. It's a lot to think about. This transition to electric cars. I mean, the price of electric is going up. They just said electric bill is going up 7%. Now, if everybody got all these electric cars, now you plugging these cars into your house, and everybody got electric cars, sure, you don't know what your electric bill is. So, with this being said, and common sense now, with what I just said, if you just think about what I just said, which might be a possibility. Now, with that being said, with electric cars, with the price of water going up, water shortage going up, food prices going up because they're using gas and diesel, the price of diesel is going up, jobs is being cut, the jobs is being that are being available, jobs that require college education, drug free because of the way people are living and moving there and the things that's going on. There's no where is anywhere fit with the price of real estate. Where does it fit for a poor person to live? Tell me. Question. Where is there a place for poor people to live in the future? Where is it? Where? I'm gonna tell you where. Nowhere. But outside of the city somewhere. Because they're cleaning the city up. They putting too much money in this city. You know, to have people running around and, and shooting and bringing property value down and having businesses close up early instead of being open to make money and instead of people being able to sit outside and enjoy the the, the night hour, the nightlife, so to speak. No, they're not going to allow that. It's not going to happen. So brace yourself. There's no place for the poor to live. So the only thing I'm saying, and this is for the parents to drill into your child's head, that if you want to live and live in the future, and the future is now, you need an education. You need to discipline yourself. You need to take them cell phones and all that social media stuff and put that stuff under the mattress and organize your time and separate the important time from the unimportant time. You're going to have to do that if you want to live. Ask yourself, do you want to live? It's not a joke. It's not a joke. It's as serious, serious as can be. I'm just simply trying to, I've learned a lot in life. And I'm trying to come forth with some common sense because you have to think. You have to learn to think. You have to learn to use common sense because we have been uh, deprived. We have been deprived of how to think, the value of thinking, even with the cell phone. Man, you got a cell phone. Where is this? You don't have to look it up. GPS. What's the meaning of this? You don't have to look it up. You don't have to think about it. Okay, Google or whatever, boom, tells you this, 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 this. You have that knowledge right at your fingertips. Well, what if that something happens to that instrument? I know from speaking for myself, at one point in my life, I I knew every phone number I need to know. I could call it off right in my head. That was a fact, no problem. Now I don't even know my daughter's telephone number unless I had to look it up on my phone. You see? Unless you want to walk around and something happened to that. If something happened to my phone, I lost my phone. You know what that would be? That would be like me I lost a doorway to life, to my life. Shouldn't be like that. So what I did do though, I did write down all the numbers on a piece of paper and put them somewhere just in case if I lost my phone. I have to do this, people. This is not a joke, and this is not by design. Or should I say it is by design. It is. You know, you look at I'm going back. I have to go back to Trump, ex-President Trump. When he started running for president of the United States, the people that right now is diehard Trump Trump supporters, as politicians, they all laughed at this man. They laughed at him because they knew he was a joke. It was no, he would never win. And when he won, they all did a 360-degree flip. And Ted Cruz even did 850-degree flip. He talked about like that. Excuse me. How do you do that? It doesn't happen, people. You can't. But that's all. This only happen. It does happen because we see it happen. But it only happens because people know they can do it. They can get away with it because they know that some of us are just that mentally weak. We can be led around like that. We can be told this and told that. And you believe it. But some of us are filled with so much hate and don't even know where the hate comes from. They just hate. It's sickness. And they feed off of it. And some of it's in your DNA. Well, it is. It comes to your DNA too. It does. It really does. Yeah. And a lot of these politicians, they were back there, you know, they were way back there during that time. They haven't changed. At core, when the Constitution was written, when the Constitution was written, I'm not going to talk about all this slave stuff, and because we all know it's real and it happened. But when the Constitution was written, it was not written with people of color. That's a fact. It's a fact. But it's all the more reason for us to want to rise above our expectation and raise our children, establish ourselves as a people like every other nationality. You don't have to act crazy and just spend, and not learn the value of money. And when a few of our people do become millionaires and billionaires, they just seem to forget where they came from, forget the struggle. This is a struggle. This is a real life struggle. People need help. You'd be surprised. To whom much is given, much is required. Much is required. People help their people. They do. Just look around. It's 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 terrible. It's terrible. And when we talk about how bad things are here in America and how people are struggling here in America, you know, we help other people, but we shouldn't clam up when we come to helping America, people here in America. It's not just people of color that need assistance, need help. We need to work together. We need to love ourselves. We need to love this country. We need to get involved in cleaning it up. People just talking and talk. We've been talking for I don't know how long. Time to do something. Do something. And you don't need to be patted on the back for things that you're supposed to do. It boggles my mind sometimes how you know here's a man he gets patted on the back and congratulated for taking care of his children. Excuse me? They are your children. You're supposed to take care of them. You're supposed to provide for them and teach them and love them and see to it that they are educated based on how the economy is progressing and what the future is going to be like. That is your job, your fatherly duty, and your motherly duty. And this is the problem. This is the problem. I don't. I mean, unless I'm missing something, it's not like everybody got to be tell you, well, this is what you got to do this, do this. You know, no, and it's passing you by because I'm gonna tell you something. It's not always, and it's getting that way now, as you can see. I remember a time it used to be easy to make money. It still is, but you got to have money to make money, and then you got to be taught how to make money. You got to be taught what to do with that money. You see, and there's less and less opportunities for you to get in that position to get it. They talk it. It's a good game. It's a good game to talk. Oh, anybody can do this and do that. No, you can't. You can. You understand? But it's difficult. It's not as easy as people say it is. This is all I'm saying. Especially when you don't have help. See, we say something, but our people, from what I'm saying, our people really don't help us. Little bit, but based on what I just said a few minutes ago, to whom much is given, much is required. Mm-mm. And they help in the right places. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. It's a blessing to be able to help someone in a positive way. That's where your blessings come from. Where else can a blessing come from? That's where they come from. Yes. But we seem to forget that. And all the stuff you got. What does it really mean? What do you really get from it? Think about it. Nothing. Just something to get your money. That's all. That's all. That's all it is. That's all it is, man. You know, but take some of that money and develop the ghetto. Let people live and don't have to pay all this high rent. Teach them how to start businesses. Teach them how to make money. Teach them how to be developers. Yeah, yeah. This is help. This is real help that they don't get. You need to get. Don't get. You know, and teach them. Teach them about drugs. Teach them about it. And drugs. It deals with the outcome of drugs. When you start talking about drugs and dealing with the mind and things of this nature, it's a person's mentality, a person's mental outlook plays a part how drugs affect that individual. Yeah, yeah. So and they talk about, well, this drug is okay. This drug don't affect you when you take this. You don't go out and you don't be shooting and killing anybody and doing this. Well, that may be true. There's a lot of drugs that you can take that you can just lay back and chill and have fun with. But it's drugs, man, and we don't know how it's going to affect people. And you talking about putting somebody in high tech positions, doing this, and you riding around in cars that can explode and this and that, and you high. Just something to think about. Think about it. Drink, smoke, but smoke in your home. Don't smoke and get out here and get behind no wheel and drive. Don't do that because you don't know. And not only you might be fine, but what about the next person? What about the next person? What about the next person that's high? You understand? So these are things that we need to think about. Just don't look at everything just money, 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 money. Money ain't no good to you if you're dead. You know, you ask the person laying up in the hospital, can't walk, or can't think straight, or this, or had a stroke of the mind. Ask him if he had a chance to be healthy or have the money. Ask him what would he do? What would his decision be? So, on that note, we have got to start doing better. I talk about it, doing what we need to do. And time is running out. Time is running out. And if you don't have any problems, if you have nothing to hide, well, then guess what? What's the problem? What's the problem? Investigate all you want to if you have nothing to hide. But the fact that you are trying to interrupt the investigation means you must have something to hide. Common sense. Common sense. And rich people knows nothing about the ghetto. Nothing. They don't go. The children are not in these schools. They don't even associate with us. So they in reality, do they care? Apparently, if they did, we wouldn't be in this situation. So, but anyway, on this note, thank you. I had to get that off my chest. But it seems like we cannot get away from insurrection, shootings, inflation, um, Joe Biden giving the uh, college kids that owe these student loans a break. I think he's to be commended. Uh, just instead of giving Ukraine or these countries 45 billion, just give them 40 billion. Take the 5 billion and do some work here with it to help these kids out. They're gonna need it. Seniors need help, veterans need help. We all need help. We need to start cleaning this planet up. That's man. And people, well, if you see paper on the street, pick it up. Paper in your neighborhood, pick it up. Get a broom, clean your neighborhood up. If you see somebody doing something, tell them to clean up. Don't do that here. Don't do that here. Do it. Just cut it out. We have got to start taking active parts, active roles in our life like other people. Other people's neighborhoods are clean because they clean it, and they don't let people dirty it up. And that's a fact. So, on that note, people, thank you for letting me vent again. And I will see you maybe tomorrow, if not tomorrow, Thursday. Have a wonderful night.